What is up, Straw Babies? It's Straw's back again with another video, and we're doing something different this week. We are not doing Pokemon cards. We will get back to that at some point soon here, but I wanted to try something different. I've been opening Pokemon cards for the last several weeks, and I'm really interested in maybe trying something new. And maybe you guys will like this, maybe you won't. You know, you're gonna have to let me know down in the comments if you want more content like this, but I've run into an issue lately. So, I got these really nice metal dice for Christmas, and they're beautiful. I'll show them up closer in a moment, but the problem I have with them is that I have wooden glass tables. And the problem with these dice is they're very heavy and they're very sharp. You hear it? So I don't want it to be denting my tables or potentially damaging my glass. So the solution I came up with is that today we are going to be making our very own, very cheap dice tray. Now I picked this up at the dollar store for about $4. And then I also got this big pack of felt. So we're just gonna go bare bones today. We're not doing any fun, or like, I don't want to say it's not gonna be fun, but we're not doing any decorating. You know, we're just gonna be making a bare bones dice tray so that you have something that does or allows you to roll your dice without damaging your tables or your property, or maybe you just don't like super loud noises. So I guess without further ado, Straw Babies, let's get into it. Okay, so there's a few basic things that we're going to need before we start this. First, we obviously need this. I've gone with a smaller one because I just want it to be a personal one. I don't need it to be table sized. So there are the measurements right there. It's 8 inches by 8 inches by 1 inch. Now, I'm not normally a super crafty person, so you're going to have to bear with me today, and I might even do voiceover, just in case this doesn't go well. I am going to be using scissors. If you are under the age of 18, please get your parents' permission before using any of the tools that we use in this video. It should just be scissors. But in the event that you are under the age of 18, please get your parents' permission or have them help you, because we don't need any injuries on our hands. So we're just going to open this right up. This opens up a lot better than the Pokemon cards we usually open up, especially those mystery boxes. Jeez. Now we've got a bunch of different colors here. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera because I am in a darker space, but we've got red, orange, yellow, really nice green right there. Aw, it doesn't look like it's showing up on camera very well. I'm gonna try to get in the light. There we go. This like light baby blue color here. This purple. Oh, I like that pink. Straw Babies for life. Red, brown, gray, and white. But I've opted to go very normal and just stick with the classic black. I think it'll look really nice, and I just want it to look. I don't want to say plain, but I want it to look pretty normal. So I don't have a ruler for no good reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace my finger along here and try to get a general imprint of the inside. And I'm just going to have it try to kind of impress itself onto the felt itself so that we have a general idea of what the inside is going to be measured like. Let's see how well that worked out. So I've got a little line here. I don't know how well it's showing. Oh, it seems to be showing up okay on camera. So we're going to set this up here for the moment. And then we're going to take our scissors. I'm going to need to pay attention to the light so I can see exactly where those marks are. And now I've lost them oh, there. I can sort of see it. Maybe I should press again just to really drive it home. Don't want any mistakes. I guess black probably wasn't the best idea to use on here, but I like the color. I like the simplicity of it. So maybe I'll take the back end of the scissors here. And you guys are going to be learning along with me here. I do like crafty stuff, but I don't do it as frequently as I think I'd like to. So that does hinder a couple things. But as long as we can make it through this, we can make it through anything. You know, life is a series of trial and error, and as long as you try, you didn't lose. Oh, that looks a lot clearer this time. Cool. Trying to get it at an angle where I can cut it and I can see the line. Let's see. Well, I can see this one up here. So let's. Now, my general rule of thumb is that you should go just a little outside of the line that you've made, because you can always make a cut smaller, but you can't necessarily make it bigger. And that's something I've always lived by. I think that can apply to cooking or really any other creative thing that you're doing in your life. I'm going to save those strips for potentially something later. Not sure what I would need them for just yet, but you never know. I'm sorry if I'm very loud. I am right next to my camera. I'm actually sitting right behind it, and it's on a tripod, so it's a little difficult to work around it, but we make do. Okay, so we got our first angles cut there, and I got a little wonky on this bottom one here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but hopefully that doesn't. And that's another reason why you make sure that you cut a little more outside, because then you can get really detailed when it comes down to it, and you can really focus on the exact lines that you need. I'm going to cut all the way across here and get these strips too. There we go. So now I can see my last line there. And we're going to cut through these and we're going to clean it up. And it should be good to go. Now I wanted to make sure that I kept this cheap, because if you're like me, you don't have a ton of money to be spending on, like, there's companies out there like that are just really expensive, and they have great products, don't get me wrong, but not everybody, including myself, has the money to spend on those. So sometimes you have to get a little crafty and get things done yourself. So now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to really adhere to these lines so that we get an exact angle. Now you could use like an X-Acto knife or something along those lines, but we're trying to stick to the bare minimum, so anyone can actually do this. Most people have scissors around their house, and the felt in the box were so cheap. I got them specifically at Dollar Tree, in case you were wondering. That looks pretty straight. There's a couple minor things there, but that's okay. And try to keep those corners as tight as possible too, because you want them to fit perfectly in there. Watching my lines here, or at least attempting to. But no, not everyone has the money to go out and buy the most expensive gaming peripherals. So here we are, you know, we're out here crafting and making it our own so that it's not so overwhelming trying to get into the game. And with the amount that I've been looking at dice, I'd rather spend a tiny bit of money on this and a lot more money on really cool dice. Okay, so I think we've got that pretty even there. I hope that whole thing was on camera there. But we're going to test it out now. We're going to try it on the inside of the box. And everything should fit up pretty well here. In fact, you almost want it a bit snug so that you can really work it into the corners. A little long on one side there. Looks like we got a little bit of... No, it's just punched up in the one corner. Okay. I thought that I did it totally wrong. I was like, no! I'll have to do it all over again. But, like we talked about a minute ago, that's, you know, that's the trial and error part, is sometimes it takes time. Okay, so we got a pretty sizable, like, bubble here that we're trying to work out. And it's just not wanting to come out for me. And we definitely don't want any bubbles. We don't want it to cause issues with our rolling processes here. So maybe take your glue stick and kind of try to work these out to the corners. I don't know why it keeps whopping up like that. So maybe I just need to trim a tiny bit off. Maybe I didn't get close enough on one side or something along those lines. Oh, okay, I see. I was, it looks like I was really, really short on this side here. I don't know. There we go. You can see this little line here. I didn't cut close enough. So we had a little bit of excess on there that wasn't necessary. We're just going to go very slow and carefully and trim that edge up. Don't be afraid to go back and fix your work. My goodness. Let's double check again to make sure that all of our other lines are square. Okay, so that might have been the culprit there. It just wasn't ready to go in yet. And make sure before you apply any adhesive that you are checking this, 2-3 times, however many times it takes for you to feel comfortable. Oh, this is fitting a lot nicer this time. Now, if I could get it to come to me, because we have this little lip up here that keeps wanting to curl upward, and we don't want that at all because we have a little gap here that's supposed to be filled in, so you just gotta keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And I think I may cut here, I may not, just to see, or just so that you guys don't have to watch me struggle to get this thing in there for 20 minutes. Oh, there we go, cool. I don't think I have to cut it all. Cool, so that fits really, really well. It's pretty flush. So now that we've got it in there properly, what we're going to do is we're going to take it back out, and we're going to use our glue stick. Just to, we're going to use the glue stick so that it stays in there, because the last thing we want is that coming out. Okay, so we're going to take this back out then. If I can manage to pull it up. Try not to crease it, because that's the last thing you want is a big old pinch in the center. So now I'm going to use a glue stick. I've seen a bunch of different ways to adhere these. Some people get spray adhesives. Some people use like Elmer's glue, which this technically is Elmer's brand, but what I mean by that is the liquid glue that you squeeze out. And my initial thought is it's kind of like paper in the sense that you don't really want to use the liquid glue, because it's going to give you bubbles and it's going to make your felt dry funny and give it ripples all along it. That's the last thing we want. So I'm going to use this dry glue stick, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to stay along the inside, and then we're going to glue the corners of the felt itself, so that way you can, when you get it in there, it'll glue into the corners as well as the center. So I might speed this part up here just so you guys don't have to watch me glue for a while, but here's goes nothing. And we're just going to go along as well as we can. And you're going to have to pick this up a couple times because glue goes quick. And just go in, or go along the edges here, making sure that you touch everything. And you can see your line in there pretty well. It doesn't seem to be, well, this side right here, see where it gets a little darker right there? You can see your own line. So just follow that until you've gotten to the very center, and try not to leave too much excess laying around either, because that's going to give you similar issues to what we talked about earlier, where it's just going to be sticking funny. And if you do end up having excess, just grab yourself like a rag or something along those lines, and just spread it across, make it nice and even so you don't get bunched up felt, because that would not be fun for any player. Okay, that didn't take us too long. Oh, you can actually, you know what? You can use the glue stick and you can kind of spread it around a little bit, so it's not all bunched up. And maybe just make a couple extra passes where it looks like there's not glue, just so that you make sure you have full coverage. Now we're going to take our piece of felt, like we said, and we're going to just kind of coat the corners, just so they're nice and sticky and they adhere to the corners themselves. You don't have to have a ton of excess on there. It just has to be glued enough to where it won't come up in the corners. You know, while it is a cheap project, you want it to look nice too, and I don't think anyone could ask any less of you. And it looks like we got the final corner there. So now here comes the fun part, or what I'm assuming is the fun part, because I have never done this before. This is my first time doing it here along with you guys. So we're going to try to get it perfectly in here, and it may be trial and error. We may have to pick it up a couple times, and I'm hoping that's not the case. But if you take your time and just get them squared up into the corners, you should be okay. Oh, sweet. Now take your fingers along and really work out any potential air bubbles. Work your finger across so that it really adheres to it, and it looks like you guys will have a nice finished project. And this was so simple, you guys. There we are. There it is. That came out so much better than I expected. I had a ton of fun with this. Oh wow, I'm actually super proud of myself. I didn't know if this was going to go super well. I'd never done it before, but there it is, guys. For $6, $7, I made my own, and that's not including the glue stick, I will say, but you can pick up glue sticks for like 50 cents, maybe $1 for a pack of them. But for my first time ever making one of these, I had a ton of fun, and I'm so happy with the product that came out. Now, if you want to, before you put all the felt and glue in and stuff like that, you can paint these, you can stain them, you could use a wood burner to work in maybe some like some elvish words or something along those lines, whatever you really prefer, some swirls, whatever. You know, you can paint them, all that jazz. You can really make it your own. But I just wanted to show you guys today how easy it is to just make one of these by yourself. And now the real test here is going to be the roll test. So let me grab my dice real quick. Yeah! We're going to break out our D20, if I can find it. There we are. And we're going to see if we can get A nat 20. Let's see. Can it give us a score on this? 17! 17! I can live it, and I'm going to prove it to you guys. I'm not moving at all. Oh, that looked like it was a 10. 17. Oh, there, it wasn't in the light. 17. Awesome. And you can see how much that reduces the noise, too, because... Oh, I'm going to give it a real roll. Goes from that to... You know, and if you wanted even more noise reduction, you can take this felt, you could even take these strips if you wanted to, and add them to the bottom, and it'll reduce the amount of noise that it's causing against the table. Let's see, let's get the rest of our dice in there too, and just roll them for fun. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun, you guys. Straw Babies, that was so much fun. It was really, really nice to be able to do something crafty on this channel. I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I really wanted to do something that we don't do all the time. I love Pokemon cards, and I'm going to continue to open Pokemon cards, but I also want to express my other interests, and also maybe help bring on some people that are also interested in doing something like as simple as a cheap dice tray. You know, it's... For me, at least, it's a game changer to be able to make your own gaming peripherals. Because, like we talked about earlier in the video, there's some really expensive gaming peripherals out there, and they're worth it. They're really nice wood, they're really nice stains, they're beautifully handmade pieces, and they're worth the money. But not all of us have the money all the time. So to be able to make something like this for under $10, that makes me super happy that I could share that with you guys. And I'm sure you've had the thought before, and I'm sure there's other people that have done these kind of videos on here before. But I wanted to do my own, and I wanted to share that with you guys, and I'm super glad that I got to. So as for the question of the day, what is your favorite set of dice, if you have any? And if you don't have any, what is your favorite color that you would choose for your first set of dice? With that, I'm going to try to get one more nat 20. Oh, we got a 9. That's okay. But, you know, if you like today's video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell so you can see us upload every single Friday, and Straw Babies, have a wonderful day.